what social media has done and what Bezos is offering and what Mark Zuckerberg is offering and what Elon is offering and all these social media platforms is offering is that we're going to take all that work that everybody else did 20, 30 years ago to get to a position that not everybody could have. And we're going to make that open to where anybody can get that position. So I understand how some people can be annoyed by that and even angered by that because they are leveling the playing field to make it open for everyone. They've lowered the gates to where there are no gates. So yeah, I can see how somebody can be pissed off. I can see how a lawyer can be pissed off when I get up in the front of the room and say, well, anybody can be an expert as soon as they call themselves one. Whereas you had to put 10 years into becoming a lawyer. I just rendered your 10 years irrelevant. I get why he was annoyed. At the same time, I don't care, but I understand. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the whole issue. And this censorship of speech, I'm not a fan of. First Amendment is the reason why it's the first one. That we cannot police and censorship speech. Calling something dangerous just because you don't like it is nonsense. And I see a lot of people doing this. It is not dangerous language. Unless you are doing something that is legally you can be held accountable for it, it's not dangerous. That's not dangerous. Calling something harmful, again, not dangerous. There was an email that I sent out this morning, by the way, and the title of the email is I'm not in the feelings business. I'm not in the feelings business. And the reason why I sent this email out is because here's what happened. I wrote an email about 3-4 days ago that I sent out, and I explained how I had gotten banned on TikTok. I was writing a story that happened several months ago. So several months ago, I was doing a live on all these platforms. I'm on 7 different platforms right now, and one of them was on TikTok. I was talking about the educational system, and I was explaining to people that the way the educational system is set up is that when I was in school, and it's still like this to this day, they've amended it somewhat, but the system is still the system, that if a student didn't learn in the traditional standard way, then they would get left behind or they would get put into like special education type of classes. And back in the day, we used to use a word that starts with the letter R. There was a common word back in the day, not as common anymore. People use a word that starts with the letter R as a pejorative to kind of make fun of a kid who wasn't passing classes in school. You know what word I'm talking about, that R word? I'm not saying it because TikTok, I used the word a couple times in my life. And when I used it, TikTok kicked me off and said, yo, you have violated our community guidelines by using certain words you're not supposed to use. So when I did that, I got kicked off for a couple of days, and I wrote an article explaining to people that when you're on someone else's platform, such as TikTok, there are certain rules that they have that you may not have, but they have.